Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Christy Kijarina. It's Thursday, February 6. In Squiz Kids Today, Trump's new trade tariffs, a record-breaking violin, tiny turtles make a comeback, and a catastrophic claim debunked. That's what's making news, kid style.
The Lowdown.
You've heard of taxes, right? They're the extra money people pay to the government on things like wages or when you buy something. But have you heard of tariffs? Tariffs are a tax on goods coming into a country from overseas. This week, US President Donald Trump announced new tariffs, extra charges on products coming into the US from Canada, Mexico, and China. That includes things like food, fuel, and even cars. That means that if a fridge from Canada used to cost $1,000, a 25% tariff would add an extra $250, making it more expensive to buy in the USA. The idea is to encourage Americans to buy locally made products instead. But here's the catch. The tariffs don't mean other countries pay the US money. It's actually American businesses and shoppers who pay. When companies spend more on imports, they usually raise their prices, making things costlier for everyday people. Even Trump admits there could be, quote, some pain at first. Other countries aren't too happy. Canada, Mexico and China plan to impose their own tariffs on American goods, making things more expensive for US businesses. Leaders in Canada and Mexico have been speaking to President Trump about solutions. And other nations like Japan are worried about what this could mean for global trade. For decades, countries have worked to reduce tariffs, so this change could set off a ripple effect around the world. No extra tariffs have been placed on Australian goods so far. What happens next? We'll have to wait and see.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in New York City, where a violin could set a world record and help future musicians. If you play an instrument, you probably take good care of it, right? Keeping it in its case, not leaving it behind on the bus. But imagine looking after a violin worth up to $28 million. This Friday, a Stradivarius violin, made by legendary Italian craftsman Antonio Stradivari way back in 1714, will go up for auction. Stradivari's instruments are famous for their rich, powerful sounds. And this one, the Joachim Mar Stradivarius, has been played by some of the world's greatest musicians. I've stuck a link to a video of it being played in the episode notes. It's pretty cool. But here's the best part. The money from the sale won't go into a private collection. It will fund scholarships for music students at an American school called the New England Conservatory. One special violin could change the lives of hundreds of future musicians.
Animal Kingdom.
Imagine setting off on a journey as a tiny baby, spending 30 years exploring the ocean, and then returning to the exact same beach where you were born. That's exactly what's happening at Mon Repos Beach near Bundaberg in Queensland, where a record number of endangered loggerhead turtles have come back to nest. More than 500 female turtles have hauled themselves up the sand dunes this summer, laying over, get this, 250,000 eggs. the highest number seen since the 1970s. One of the star mums was first tagged in 1980, and now she's returned for her 13th nesting season. Scientists believe the tiny hatchlings imprint on the Earth's magnetic field as they scurry to the ocean as babies, and then they use it as a map to find their way back decades later. It's proof that protecting nesting beaches today means future generations of turtles will have a safe place to return to. And now, from January to March, thousands of tiny hatchlings will begin their own incredible journey. I've stuck a link in the episode notes to a really inspiring video about these turtles and the wildlife warriors who've been caring for them for decades.
News hounds.
Most Thursdays, Squizzy the News Hound sticks his snout into Squiz Kids HQ to report back on fishy things he's sniffed out on the internet. But not today, because his nose is twitching, but all the way from London. While keeping an eye on Bryce over there, Squizzy has spotted some wild claims online. Are cats really being banned in Scotland? Now, as a dog, he's not the biggest cat fan, but even he thinks that sounds a bit far-fetched. The rumour started after Scotland's Animal Welfare Commission suggested new rules to protect wildlife from domestic cats, including keeping them inside or on leashes. But some people mistranslated that into a full-on cat ban. The Daily Mail newspaper reported, quote, "Fury as households in Scotland could be banned from getting a pet cat." Scotland's head of government had to set the record straight, saying, quote, "The government's not going to be banning cats or restricting cats. We will not be doing it." So, no need to get your whiskers in a twist. It's just another example of why we should always double check the facts before we go feeling furious. And parents, if you'd love your school to be teaching the super important skills we cover off in the Newshounds Media Literacy Program, I've stuck a link in the episode notes to a letter you can send to your school's principal to tell them all about it. Thanks, Squizzy, and see you back at HQ next week.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What is the name for the tax on goods that are imported into a country for sale? Did you say a tariff? Well done, you. Question number 2. Who was the legendary Italian craftsman responsible for the world's most prized violins? That was a tricky one. His name is Antonio Stradivari. And question number 3. Which species of turtle returns to Queensland's Mon Repos Beach to lay their eggs each year? Nice work if you remembered that it's the loggerhead turtle.
Shout outs.
It's Thursday, February 6, National Chopstick Day. Fun fact, did you know that the world's longest chopsticks are more than 8 metres long? Well, maybe give them a miss, but whether you're a pro at picking up rice or still figuring out how to hold them, today's the perfect day to give it a go. It's also a special day for these Squiz kids celebrating a birthday today. Ayush and Siobhan from Forest Lake, Molly from Coolamon, Olivia from East Melbourne, and Jacob from Borkham Hills. And a belated birthday shout out goes to Emily from Lake Bolac. And classroom shout-outs today go to Class S3I and Mr. Issen from King Street Public School in Singleton. Room 32 with Mr. Ward at Salisbury Heights Primary School and Class 3B with Miss Maxwell at Baronia Heights Primary School in Melbourne. And don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a special shout-out, Or teachers, if you want to start the year with a classroom shout out for your brand new kids, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or just fill out the form on our website. You can pop your whole class in there really easily. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow with the Kids versus Adults Weekly News Squiz. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.